Hello, it's Polish Paul VR, welcome to my channel, and after months and months of waiting, finally I can review Gorn for PlayStation VR, a game that you've been asking about daily, many times, multiple times, not only me, but pretty much everyone who cover VR, especially the developers as well, so we all know how excited you was. It might have been annoying at times, but nevertheless it was exciting to see how much interest is in this game for PlayStation VR. It's always a pleasure to look at people's hyped. But now the game is finally here. Is Gorn good or does it suck balls? How is the sport? I'm gonna tell you all about it, so of course let's just jump into it. First of all, let me speak about the graphics themselves, and I played tons of Gorns on PCVR as well, and I tell you honestly, I'm struggling to see any difference at all. I know the developers said on their Discord there was some tweaks to lighting and some particle effects, but of course in VR you cannot see it side by side, and to be honest, I'm struggling to see anything. It's graphically, it's a very good port. I played it on PlayStation 4 Pro, and you know, everything was nice and sharp, colors was very nice, lighting worked great as well, so pretty much one-to-one conversion from the PC. Even the models, animations, which are silly, I'm gonna come back to it, you know, all the armor, all the weapons, everything looks the same. I don't even see that there's any lower polygons or road. Pretty much, if you saw it on PC, you get exactly the same on PlayStation VR. Even when you're punching somebody, you know, with your weapons, they getting covered in blood. As in the PC version, once you pick something up, the hands disappearing sadly, so this is something what we just gonna have to get used to. Feels a bit weird because there is no hand, there's just weapon floating around in front of you, but you know, it works, it's still a fun game anyway. When it comes to sound, it's all the same as on PC as well, so forget about any kind of music, there ain't any. Battle noises, of course, tons of them. You're gonna hear your metal against the metal, fist on somebody's face or butthole, chopping heads off, everything of those nice splashy noises like, you know, it's all there, it's here in the game, adding to the brutality of it. But speaking about the brutality, I want to talk a bit about that as well, because even though the game is brutal, there is tons of blood, it's hilarious as well. All the animations, the enemies looks like they just come out from the bar, you know, it's all opened after isolation, pub was open, everyone got pissed and then went to arena to fight. That's how it feels, because the enemies, when they walk, they look quite hilarious and it's always funny to look at. It's they nicely, you know, disintegrate when you blow their heads up, so that's something what many people will enjoy. There was few graphic books, the one that was persistent to me was the stretched neck, so if I blast somebody's head, the head fell on other side of the arena, while the body was on other side, and through all this big distance there was line of a neck. I don't know why, but it's there. And also when it comes to book pulling the levers, sometimes they vibrating really fast, like what's going on here? But that's about it. But one book, what I'm assuming it's a book, I don't know, I'm gonna speak about it. It's something I had a problem with, and it's probably something what many people will have problem with, is height calibration. I already found the solution, thanks to people on Reddit asking. So when you first start the game, you kind of cannot touch the floor. When you bend over, there's no crouch button, so it's hard to pick up the weapons. I never had problems like that on PC, of course. And even if you try to lift floor up, there's only certain distance where the floor goes up, so it's always like a gap from your hand to the floor like this, and you cannot pick up any weapons, and it's annoying. So my solution, what I found, was put your move controllers on floor when you start the game, but it's a very odd calibration system. They could add more manual options and leave the floor higher, because I telling you, 90% of you gonna feel like you are too tall and 10% gonna feel like you are too short. But at least there is work around it, but still not so perfect, because I had to angle my camera quite down, which means when I lifted my arms, this grid appears. You cannot get rid of it, and when your hands out outside the grid, the tracking goes to shit. It's not got too much problem for me, but definitely with two-handled weapons, that was kind of issue, so it was harder to control them than on the PC, but you know what, it didn't take that much from the experience, you just have to work around it. But also any other weapons worked exactly the same. Now when it comes to game modes, you've got everything what you get on PC, you've got your, you know, endless mode, you've got your custom mode, you can have big heads, crab arms, anything you want. The only mode is missing is, of course, the local multiplayer, when one person PlayStation can play on flat and you can be in VR. They couldn't do that due to rendering problems, but anything else they managed to add to the game. And I must say, I'm impressed how well this port turned out. Of course, there is some limitation with move controllers, especially like a lot of the time of the game, you know, it's not the tactical fighting style like you've got in your, let's say, Saints and Sinners, but more of a drunken bar fight, even more chaotic than that, because you'll be wildly swinging arms around until you've got, you know, like 1 or 2 enemies left on stage, and then you can play around with them, choke them on some spikes on walls and stuff like that. But that's how Gorn was, and that's what makes Gorn fun. During my gameplay, I pushed a few things. I managed to punch my wedding picture frame. It flew across the room. Thankfully, it didn't hit tele, so keep that in mind. It's gonna happen to many people as well. When it comes to locomotion option now, this is kind of proving to be controversial already. So it's only got this pulling locomotion system. That's the locomotion I stuck on with PC. Even though on PC you can play with thumbsticks, I find it more immersive. But also, like I said, with move controllers, sometimes you're moving fast, put weapon in front of one move, and you just slide in across the stage somewhere else because you still grabbing floor with other move. So, you know, but that's what PlayStation VR owners just have to deal with until we get better controllers. There is no option for any other movement, so if you're not a fan of it, you're not gonna like it. If you don't mind, it's easy to get used to, and like I said, even on PC, when I had choice to use the thumbstick, I'm still using this system, so not bad at all. Now, when it comes to tracking, I already spoke about it, so widely swinging hands around, it's gonna make your moves controller sometimes flew out to the space. But of course, they're gonna return after a second, but sometimes your weapon might be held upside down. Nevertheless, it didn't happen to me too much. When it comes to turning options, there is smooth turning, which I switched off because it was too slow for me, but also there is click turning, and of course blinders I didn't have any on, so there you go, that's the Gorn for you. So let's just summarize everything. Am I enjoying Gorn on PlayStation VR? Definitely, it's amazing, it's super fun. Is it for everyone? I don't know, some people might get bored very fast, but also some people might enjoy this around 3 hours story, progress through it, unlock all the weapons, go to customization mode, even enjoy Piñata mode. I don't know, whatever you want. Price wise, $19.99, very cheap for what you get because there's actually quite a lot of content. So all in all, even though PlayStation VR port had few issues here and there, nevertheless they're not big enough issues to put me off the game, and I still think it's as fun as on the PC, and I think they achieved great thing because it looks exactly as on the PC if we just had better move controllers, but sadly we don't. So all in all, I'm gonna give Gorn 8 out of 10. If you're thinking of buying it, then buy it. If you don't thinking of buying it, then buy it as well because it's fun. Of course, it's not Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, but also it sells for the half price, and definitely it's gonna give you tons of fun, and especially if you have your friends around, they probably gonna enjoy this as a first VR experience. Okay, anyway, if you like what you're seeing, then please press a like because it does help the channel a lot, and if you're new to the channel and are not subscribed, then subscribe. It's always better when it's more of us. And that's it, bye.